Hello, my dear lovely students. A very warm welcome to this batch, this Nexus batch for your 11th class. Yes, I am your Chavi ma'am and I'll be responsible for the zoology part. So, first chapter which we are going to start today is the animal kingdom. Guys, we will be looking at each and every point which is there in the NCRT. So, starting from the NCRT, we'll be looking at all the examples and definitely I'll be telling you some cheats also because this chapter is all about the name of the different animals. So how to remember those names, that cheat also we'll be discussing. So you have to be with me in this journey, you have to tolerate me in this journey, and yes, in every session I'll be providing you some homework. That homework you have to do, and in the next session similarly we'll proceed further, and there will be some questions also. There will be so many things because this is a whole batch for specially designed for my 11th class student. So first chapter, you all know, you can see that animal kingdom will be dealing today. So are you guys ready? Yes. So let's have a look. So today, guys, we are going to talk about the basis of classification. Guys, there are n number of animals prevailing on this earth surface, n number of animals. Now, these animals, they look, some animals they look alike, some animals they are very much different from each other. For example, if we talk about a butterfly is completely different from an elephant. So, and we have categorized them into two different groups. How we have categorized it, what are the different features present in the different group of organisms, everything we will be discussing today. But these millions of animals which are present on the earth surface, they are classified. Why do we do classification? First, let's talk about this word, that is a classification. Why do we need classification? Classification is important for the study. It is important for the study. And what type of study? The comparative study. If we have to compare one organism with another, what do we need to do is classify those organisms. And after classification, we provide them a particular name. And when we provide them a particular name, that name will be universally accepted. That means if you are sitting here, you being Indian scientist, you will be able to talk to any scientist on this whole earth crust with the use of that particular name. Let's take one more example. Like when we talk about our name sometimes it is like they do not determine our feature. So name is being given, but here the scientific name, they are given on the basis of the features. They are classified into different kingdom, phylum, group, etc. So this is for the study. Now before talking about the whole chapter, now first thing you have to understand that different organisms which are present, they are being classified. How they are classified? On the basis of certain features. For example, the level of organization, for example, the symmetry, for example, the digestive system, for example, circulatory system, for example, the reproductive system, coelom, etc. So many features are there by which millions of organisms, they are classified into a specific groups. So we'll be talking about those groups one by one, but before talking about it, let's talk about the basis of classification, that what all the features we will be discussing. First of all, we have is a level of organization. So level of organization is what? See, we all know about this we have studied in the lower classes. So the basic unit of a body is termed as a cell. Now cells join together, they form tissue. Tissues join together organs, organ join together organ system. As you can see over here, this we have studied. Now there are group of organisms who exist like this. They are having a cellular level organism, some are having a tissue level of organization, some just have the organ level of organization, some just have an organ system level of organization. We are not just talking about the human body, we are talking about the other organisms also. So let's talk about each of these one by one. Level of organization means arrangement. This is what this means, arrangement of cells. Arrangement of cells. So very first thing which we have to discuss is the cellular level of organization. Cellular level of organization. Organization. So what do we mean by cellular level of organization? That means one cell is responsible for a particular function. Cell is responsible for a particular function. It's not the tissue which is responsible for a particular function. Different cells are there which are responsible for a particular function. Now, in this case, the example we have is the sponges. So whenever I'll be saying that they have a cellular level of organization, that means the body is made up of different kind of cell, and these cells, they have a distinct function. For example, for the reproduction, some cells will be involved. For the excretion, not the excretion, for various other activity, for example digestion, some cells they will be involved. So example we have is a poriferans. Poriferans, they are classified into one group, and that is sponges, they are classified into one group, that is termed as porifera. 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 Now, moving on to the next we have is, second buddies we have is tissue level of organization. Tissue level of organization. Tissue level of organization. Now, first was cellular. That means some cells are there which are performing a particular function. Now, buddies, we are talking about tissues. That means the cells, they combine together, they form tissue. Now, let's have a look. So, we have group of cells, right? Cells combine together tissue, and tissue is responsible for one function. Tissue is responsible for one function. Are you getting this point? See, as you can see over here, if in a body, if only one cell is there and that is performing one particular function, that is seen in case of the sponges. Whereas here we have some tissues present, and these tissues, they are responsible for a particular function. Clear? Clear? Now, in this case, a very beautiful example, instead of this porifera is done, here we have is the ctenophora. Sorry, coelenterata. Let's write coelenterate. Coelenterata. Or coelentrates, right? Or you can write down cnidarian. Cnidarian. We'll be talking about other features also, but this thing you have to remember. Cellular level, tissue level. Now, there are some group of organisms that will be exhibiting the organ level of organization. Third we have is organ level of organization. Organ level of organization. Organ. Now remember this word. Here we are saying organ. So organ, buddies, that means we have cells. Different cells combined together. What they form is tissue. What they form is tissue. Different tissues, they combine together. What they form is an organ. And this organ is responsible for one function. This is responsible for one function. Clear? They are responsible for one function. Are you getting this point? This is an organ level of organization. Now your NCERT says the example in this case is, for example, the platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, right? And other phyla, right? Now platyhelminthes, they are what? Platyhelminthes, they are the flatworm. So they are the flatworm. These are actually worm which are flattened. The dorso-ventrally they are flattened. They are flatworm. So organ system level or organ level of organization is clear. Let's talk about the most highest level of organization. That is the organ system. Organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization. Here what do we have, buddies? organ system. Now this organ system means what? This means that body is having various kinds of cells. Now these cells, they combine together and they form tissues. Tissue 1, and other cells, they combine together, they form tissue 2, right? Different tissues, I'm just giving one example. So these tissues, they combine together, they form organ, right? Now these organ, along with other organs, organ number 2, organ number 1, they combine together, and what they form is organ system. Organ system. And this organ system is responsible for one function. One function. Are you getting this point? This is a organ system level of organization. So that means, let's take one example, like in our digestive system. Digestive system, different organs are there. The liver is also there, the pancreas is also there, various organs are there, and all of them, they combine together and they perform a particular function. And what is that? Digestion, absorption, digestion. That means whole digestive system. So this is a system which is composed of different organs in our body. So organs, they are made up of different tissues. Tissues are made up of different type of cell. Clear, buddies? Now in this case, yes, further we have various examples, like we have annelids, we have arthropods, we have mollusk, etc. Right? All these further chordates, etc. Right? So till up to the chordates, everything will be having organ system level of organization. So let's revise whatever we have done so far. We talked about we were talking about the level of organization: cellular level and the tissue level, organ level and the organ system. Sponges, we have is a coelentrates, we have is the platyhelminthes, then we have is annelid, arthropods, mollusk, etc. Clear? Now let's move on to the next. Here now your NCERT talks about that we are having different kind of digestive system. So digestive system is what? Digestive system is the one which is responsible for digestion of food. Whatever we eat, they are being digested. Here we are saying that there are organisms who are having the complete digestive system, whereas other are having incomplete digestive system. But why are we talking about these words? Because when I'll be discussing different group of organisms, then I'll be using this word, complete digestive system. They're having an incomplete digestive system. So in case of incomplete digestive system, that means what? That means they just have one single opening, right? And this single opening act as what? Mouth as well as anus. So this is the one, right? So we have two type of digestive system. One is incomplete digestive system. Incomplete digestive system. So in the incomplete digestive system, there is only single opening. Only single opening is there for ingestion and egestion. For ingestion, that means taking in the food, and egestion. Egestion means removal of food from the body. Removal. What we are doing is we are removing the food also from the same structure. We are taking in the food also from the same structure. Now, incomplete digestive system, you can see it is found in jellyfishes, whereas it is also found in platyhelminthes. So because we will be just focusing on your NCERT, because this chapter is all about different examples. So we'll be focusing on only those examples which are there in the NCERT, because nothing comes outside the NCERT. Now next one, otherwise if you want to study n number of things, you can study. See, we don't have to do PhD, platy, but I'll make sure all your questions should be clear, right? You should be able to give all the answers. irrespective it is your CBSE examination or it is your NEET examination, because syllabus is same. And I can teach n number of things in this case. In a complete, like the mouth forms first, or the ear, you can say the anus forms first. There are so many things. But if it is not there in syllabus, we'll not focus on it. So incomplete digestive system, so specifically I can say they just have a single opening. They just have a single opening. Whereas let's talk about the second one, which is your complete digestive system. Complete digestive. So name itself indicate complete digestive system. That means there are two openings. Two openings are there, right? And one opening is for ingestion. That means from where the food will enter. And second will be for egestion, that is removal of food. Ingestion, that means taking in the food. We are taking in the food. Egestion, that means we are removing the food. Clear buddies, right? So in this case here in Platyhelminthes only single opening is present, whereas when we talk about the rest of the group of organisms like Aschelminthes, the chordates, all the chordates, then we are having a complete digestive system. So for this, the example we have is, so here I am writing example. So example here buddies we have is Aschelminthes. These are the roundworm. You can write down in the bracket the roundworm, Aschelminthes. And then we have is annelids, arthropods, the mollusk, echinoderm, right? Mollusk, like we have a mollusk, then we have is the chordate. Then we have is a chordate. Clear? Incomplete and the complete digestive system. Different example you should know. So incomplete, that means only a single opening. Now let's talk about further. Let's talk about the circulatory system. Now circulatory system, I'll be saying in various group of organisms that circulatory system is open and the second one it is closed circulatory system. Let's talk about it. So here I am saying whenever I'll be like students, they have open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. So open circulatory system means what? It means that heart is there. Heart has pumped the blood. It will go into vessels and now they will be like blood will be in direct contact with the tissue to the body cells. So that is termed as, that means capillaries, they are absent. So in this case, tissues, in a simplest way I can write tissues bathed into blood. That means tissues are in direct contact with blood. So what is absent over here? That means capillaries are absent. That means capillaries are absent. Clear? Open circulatory system. A very beautiful example we have is the arthropods. So here buddies, the example we have is the arthropods. Arthropods, for example your cockroaches. So cockroaches, for example this animal, so they are having a open circulatory system. That means blood once pump into this, they enter into the body tissues and they are directly supplied. So that means tissues, they are directly supplied with oxygen. So capillaries, they are absent. Clear? Open circulatory system. Now let's talk about the closed circulatory system. So second we have is your closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system. So closed circulatory system, that means what is present? That means everything is present. It means that artery, vein, capillary, present. Capillary, present. That means blood doesn't come in direct contact with the tissues. Then how do tissue get the oxygen? With the help of a process which is diffusion. So from the blood capillaries, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide exchange occur. That means oxygen will be taken in by the tissues and carbon dioxide will be removed and they enter into the blood which is present in the capillaries. Clear? So question arises, where are we going to find it? Here I am writing examples. Here you can take an example of your all the chordates, right? For example, your chordates. In all the chordates, you will find a closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system will be present, not the open one. That means we have tissues, and tissues, they are bathed into the capillaries, right? Now, moving on to the next, we have is symmetry in animals. Symmetry. So there are animals which are non-symmetry. Some do not have symmetry. Some are having a radial symmetry. Some are having a bilateral symmetry. Now let's talk about each of this one by one. So buddies, second we are talking about the symmetry. So on the basis of symmetry also, we classify organism into different group. Clear? Now, so first of all, the first one we have is asymmetry or asymmetrical organism. Asymmetrical. So whenever I'll be saying asymmetrical, that means no symmetry is present. So that means no symmetry. So symmetry means body cannot be divided into two equal halves by any plane. Any plane, right? For example, I'll show you. Just wait, I'll show you something. Now guys, can you see this tissue roll, this paper roll, right? It doesn't have any symmetry. Somewhere or other we have depression, somewhere or other some ridges are there, everything. It is not symmetry. So if I take a scissor or any plane, if I try to cut this into two equal half, I will not be able to do that. So that means this is asymmetry. Now in this case, very good example we have is sponges. For example, sponges. Clear? Now here I can show you with this diagram. Here's the sponges, the group of organism, and the group name is termed as poriferan. So if you look at the poriferans, they do not have any symmetry. Now either if you cut the organism from here, will you get the two equal half? No, you'll not get the two equal half. Any plane. So if you cut like this, will you get two equal half? No. If you'll cut like this, will you get two equal half? No. So this is termed as the asymmetry or the asymmetrical organism. So if I'll talking about the one group and I'll be saying that asymmetrical, that means they do not have any kind of symmetry. Buddies, clear? Now the examples are the sponges. Now moving on to the next we have is the second one, that is radial symmetry. That is radial symmetry. Radial symmetry. So this is asymmetrical. You can say asymmetry or asymmetrical. Radial symmetry or radially symmetrical. They are same thing. So radial symmetry, that means what? That means body is divided into two equal halves by any plane passing from center of the body, center of the body. Clear? I'll tell you about it. For example, buddies, you can take the cnidarians. So cnidarians can be divided in this. Another beautiful example I'll give you. Wait. Now, suppose some organism is like this. And if you want to cut this organism, you can choose this plane, right? The organism will be divided into two equal halves. You can choose this plane, or you choose this plane or any other plane. The body will be divided into two equal halves. So how will you remember this? Asymmetry. Will you be able to recall this? Will you be able to have this in your mind? Asymmetry, that means no symmetry is there. Radial symmetry, so name itself indicate, that means radius, that means from the center, if any plane is passing, the body will be divided into two equal halves. Clear? Hope buddies it is clear. Now third, we have to talk about the bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. So how will you learn this? So that means body body can be divided into two equal half by only one plane. I'll write it down. Only one plane passing from center. That means from the center only one plane will be there, and that plane will divide the organism body into two equal halves. For example, let's take this human body. I'm just making a rough diagram, okay? So here buddies, I have just a plane like this which divides the body into two equal halves. This is a bilateral symmetrical. I'll be repeatedly saying that these organisms, they are bilaterally symmetrical. So that means they are having a bilateral symmetry. Clear? Hope it is clear. Now their examples we have done. Let's talk about examples of the radial symmetrical and the bilateral symmetrical organisms. So here the example we have is CCE. So that is your coelentrates. That is, other than coelentrates, we have is your ctenophore. Don't worry, in these organisms, when we will be doing the detailed study, we will be discussing these things again. So ctenophore, and the next one we have is echinoderm. Echinoderm in adult we'll find the radial symmetry, whereas in their larval stages we'll find the bilateral symmetry. Whereas a bilateral symmetry will be present in annelids, from annelids tail your chordates. That means in the higher organism, you are going to find that such kind of symmetry is there. The annelids, the arthropods, further. Clear? Asymmetrical, no symmetry is there. The radial symmetry, any plane passing from the center. Bilateral symmetry, only single plane. Annelids, arthropods, whatever you want to say, you can take that. Clear? See, whatever is left will be coming in the bilateral symmetrical. Now, let's talk about further. Yes. So, see, you can see bilateral symmetrical, the arthropods, bilateral symmetrical. Now, next, let's talk about the embryonic germ layer. Now, listen very carefully. Now, during the embryonic lifetime, germ layers are formed. So many students, they keep on asking me, ma'am, what are these germ layers? See, I'll tell you. After the fertilization, the first stage which is formed is termed as a zygote. Zygote divides into a mass of ball of cell which is morula. Morula further divides into the gastrula. Blastula. So blastula forms the gastrula. During the gastrulation, 3 germ layers are there. Now these 3 germ layers, in case of us, they are the ectoderm, endoderm and the mesoderm. Ectoderm present towards the outer side, mesoderm is present in between, and the endoderm will be present towards the inner side of the body. These 3 germ layers, they form the different structures of the body. Now there are organisms only 2 germ layers are there. There are organisms where the 3 germ layers are there. So we are talking about those germ layers. Embryonic germ layers. Embryonic germ layers. Clear? So we have 2 types of organisms. Diploblastic organism. Diploblastic organism. Diploblastic. So diploblastic, that means these are the organisms having 2 germ layer. Organisms having 2 germ layers. 2 germ layers are there. That is what? The ectoderm, and the next one is endoderm. Ectoderm and endoderm. Clear? Ectoderm and the endoderm. So ectoderm, name itself indicates, will be present towards the outer side, and the endoderm will be present towards the inner side. Let's have a look. So, this is a ectoderm present. Right? Here we have endoderm. Yes. So this is how they will be present. So now let's label. This is ectoderm. So ectoderm will form various structures in the body later on during the course of development. The blue layer which you can see will be endoderm. And in between, mesoglia is present. Mesoglia is present. Ectoderm, endoderm and mesoglia. And this is what this layer, this is not a germ layer. So ectoderm, endoderm and the mesoglia is present. Let's talk about the next one, which is the triploblastic organism. Triploblastic organism. Triploblastic organism. So name itself indicate triplo. Triplo means 3 germ layer. So that means organisms having 3 germ layers during the course of development. 3 germ layers. Right? So outer layer is termed as ectoderm, whereas the middle layer will be termed as mesoderm, and the inner layer is termed as endoderm. 3 layers are present. So let's have a look. Cellular. 3 different cellular layers are there. This is a 3rd germ layer. Clear? Now, let's label ectoderm. We have is mesoderm and endoderm. Are you getting this point? So 3 germ layers are there, guys, right? So 2 germ layer when they are present, and these are the places where they have is a 3 germ layer. Now in this case, the examples, now let's talk about the examples. Here we have is coelentrates. So only coelentrates, they are the diploblastic, whereas rest other than that. Here the example we have is the after coelentrates, whatever we have like ctenophore, right? We will be having further we will be having annelids, we will be having arthropods, the mollusks, the chordates, everything will be having triploblastic arrangement. Clear? Everything. In fact, the platyhelminthes, right? So everything will be having the triploblastic organism. That means they will be having 3 different germ layer. Now moving on to the next, let's talk about the coelom, right? Now what is this coelom? Coelom is written over here as body cavity. Now, so that means body cavity lined by mesoderm. So that is termed as the coelom, right? On this basis, there are 3 different kind of organism, 3 different kind. So first we have is the eucoelomate. First we have is the eucoelomate. So eucoelomate are those group of organism where true coelom is present. So what do they have is true coelom. So what is this coelom? Body cavity, which is lined by mesoderm, lined by mesoderm. Here you can see, I'll show you. This is ectoderm. This is ectoderm. Right? This is a layer which is termed as ectoderm. Now, next layer is termed as mesoderm. So here this is a gut. Here also mesoderm is present. Now, here just lining the gut we have the endoderm. Here one fluid is present. One fluid is present. This is a fluid or the body cavity, coelom, filled with coelomic fluid. Cavity is present, which is termed as coelom. So cavity is termed as coelom, filled with coelomic fluid. So what have you learned so far? Let's have a look. This is ectoderm. This is ectoderm. This is ectoderm, right? Below this ectoderm, you can see these blue. Sorry. So these two blue, they are the mesoderm. And this is a coelom. And this red one is endoderm. See, we are understanding, we are focusing on each and every small points so that you should remember. Clear? Because understanding things is more important rather than just cramming everything. Clear? So this is a eucoelomate. Let's have a look. Ectoderm you can see. The mesoderm is there. You can see the coelom is also present. Other than the coelom, everything you can see it present. Clear? Now, here, what are the examples? Now, next question comes. And that, ma'am, tell me what are the examples? We have is annelids. We have is arthropod. Arthropods, the mollusk, hemichordates, everything, the chordates, everything will come under this. We are true coelomates, eucoelomates. Now, moving on to the next we have is the second one, pseudo coelomates. Pseudo-coelomates. Pseudo means false. So we have this meaning. Pseudo means false. This is coelom, false cavity. Right? Are you getting this point? The false cavity. Now, here, mesoderm is present in pouches. In pouches. I'll write it. Let's make a diagram. Because with the help of diagram, you will be able to understand this in a better way. So, buddies, this is ectoderm. This is ectoderm. Clear? This is the center, the gut lining, then the endoderm, and here the mesoderm is present in the pouches. Guys, can you see? These are the pouches. Let's label. This is ectoderm. Yellow one is ectoderm. This is blue one is mesoderm. So mesoderm is split. And this is the endoderm. Now where is coelom present? Coelom will be present over here. So yes, they too have coelom. Coelom is there, but coelom is not lined by mesoderm. You can see they are not. That means this cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Now in this case, very important example. Many times this has been asked. Ascaleminthus. That means your roundworms, they come under this category. So I'll keep on saying that, guys, these are the eucoelomates, these are the pseudocoelomates. So you should understand this terminology. This chapter is very interesting, and I am 100% sure you will be able to do this whole chapter. It's just that you have to follow whatever I am saying in the session. So hope this eucoelomate is clear. Hope this pseudocoelomate is clear. Both the definition, hope it is almost clear in your mind. Hope not all clear. Now let's talk about acoelomates. The third one. Acoelomates. It means no body cavity. It means no body cavity. No body cavity. So you want to have a look? For example, your platyhelminthes. So here we have is the ectoderm. Then we have is we were taking, so let's take this color, the mesoderm. Right? And the last one we have is the endoderm. So let's label ectoderm, the mesoderm, and this is the endoderm. 3 layer. Ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. These are termed as acoelomates. So acoelomates are those organisms which doesn't have the coelom. You can see coelom? No, right? So example we have over here is your flatworms. Platyhelminthes. These are the flatworms. So group name is Platyhelminthes. Clear? Now, let's move on to the next. That is the segmentation. So segmentation, that means body is having segment. Body having what? Internal and external segments. That means body is divisible into various segments. Body is having segment one after another. Not even externally, the internal segmentation is also seen. So such segmentation is termed as such segmentation is called what? Metameric segmentation. Metameric segmentation. That means there is repetition of segment. Very important. There is repetition of segment. That means if you look at the external thing, the segments are repeated. Internally also, the internal structures, they are being repeated. In this, the example we have is arthropods. Arthropods. So in arthropods you will find that segments, guys, they are present, and these segments which are present one after another, so some repetition, you can say the serial repetition is present. Clear? Arthropods. So will you remember this? Now let's talk about the next one, and what is that? That is the notochord. So notochord is what? Notochord is mesodermally derived structure. Mesodermally, yes, this is a mesodermally derived structure, and if it is present, the person is termed, that group of organism is termed as your chordate. If it is absent, they are termed as the non-chordates, right? What do we call this? Mesodermally derived rod-like structure. Rod like mesodermally derived rod-like structure, right? Mesodermally. Now on this basis we have different two group of organism. One is termed as non-chordate, and second is termed as your chordates. Clear? So non-chordates, they are what? That means no notochord. So notochord absent. Notochord absent. And what all different group of organisms there which are present in this? We have an example like your annelids, right? The arthropods, the mollusk, all these are non-chordates, whereas those who have notochord, having notochord, they have notochord like structure, right? So notochord, the structure which is present, for example what? In the chordates, for example, the fishes, Pisces, right? Amphibian, the reptiles, the mammals, all these things, all these group of organism, they are considered as a the chordates. That means they have a chordates, right? Clear? Notochord, mesodermally derived structure, right? This mesodermally derived structure, so where it is present? On the dorsal side. That also you can write, present on dorsal side of body. Dorsal side of body, present on dorsal side of body. Clear? The non-chordates. Clear, buddies? So what we have done so far? Let's take a revision. Let's take a quick revision, right? Let's take a quick revision. So guys, we were talking about the basis of classification. Basis of classification. So in the basis of classification, we have talked about what? The symmetry, right? We have talked about the coelom. We have talked about the first, the level of organization. You remember? we have already talked about the notochord, notochord. What else? The level, germ layers. Yes, the germ layers. The next one, the segmentation. Clear? So on this basis, we classify the different group of organism. So what? Six. We talked about the sixth one. So basically, the digestive system also we talked about in the level of organization. Here, buddies, we talked about the digestive system, whether it is complete or incomplete, or circulatory system, if it is open or closed type. Open circulatory system is found in arthropod, so closed circulatory system is found everywhere. No capillaries are present. So notochords, the chordates and the non-chordates, germ layer, triploblastic and diploblastic. Segmentation, we talked about the metameric segmentation. Clear? So symmetry, we talked about that animal can be having a bilateral symmetry. I'm just giving an overview. The radial, if radius, anything passing from the center, or symmetry, that means asymmetrical organism. Clear? Then we talked about the coelom. So coelom can be eucoelomate, the pseudo-asclepianthus, very good example, pseudocoelomate, and the acoelomate. The next one, the level of organization, we have discussed about the cellular, the poriferans, the tissue, cnidarian, the organ, and then the last one, organ system level of organization. Revision done. So mind map made in your mind. This is important, buddies. Clear? Now the notochord, that means can be a non-chordate if not present, and if present they are termed as chordates. Clear? Now moving on to the next, we talked about the germ layers, that means the triploblastic, the diploblastic. And the segmentation, in this segmentation part, we talked about the metameric segmentation. So this was an overview of whatever we have done. This is a 2-minute summary. So these are the bases of classification. Now we will be looking at the different group of organisms. That means we will be starting with the poriferans. They are pore-bearing animals. What kind of cells are present in them, we'll be discussing about them. Clear? Hope this 2-minute summary is done. Now the revision. So guys, what you have to do is revision. I have already given you, right? Revision. Now let's talk about the homework, the very important part, because every day you're going to get some homework. So if you have to attain good marks in this examination, I am just telling you, do whatever I am saying. The only book which you have to refer is the NCERT. Now what you're going to read is, read NCERT. The first thing is till this topic, till the level of organization. Till level of organization. And whatever doubts you have, you can ask in the comment section. I'll cater that in the next session. Second very important thing is, you have to write down each of these example. So what you have to do is, you have to make a chart. Make a chart, right? I made a chart like this. So this is just a small chart where I haven't written the example. So you have to complete this chart and write the examples also, like bilateral, the examples they are what, the radial which are examples are what, and the examples whatever I have given you, they are sufficient, or you can refer to your NCERT, right? The example which I have given you, they are same from the NCERT, so don't worry about it. I told you that we'll be focusing on NCERT, and this is what we are doing right now also. Clear? So buddies, we'll be meeting next in the next session, where we'll be starting the poriferans, and like this we'll be proceeding. So hope you like this session. So I want you guys should be high in energy, because we will be doing everything. You have being your teacher, you have given me responsibility, you have trusted me, so I'm going to take you forward, and whatever I'm saying, just do that. No one can stop you from attaining good marks. See, either it is your NEET examination or your CBSE examination, there's only one book for that, that is your CBSE book, 11th class book and the 12th class book. So just focus on it. All the very best. See you in the next class. Till then, take care, and take care. Bye bye guys, and do your homework.